And with me is Eileen Radin, a parent education expert who has worked in the field for over 20 years. Eileen.
Thanks, Mina. In this series, we'll look at some of the primary issues parents face in raising their children. Parenting is a skill, and like all skills, it is acquired and can be developed and improved. The children on our program are 5-year-olds, but as we know, many ideas that apply to young children are applicable to children of any age. The subject of today's program is kindergarten readiness. Preparing your children for kindergarten helps promote future academic and vocational success. Mina?
Let's watch some scenes in which parents make decisions that will affect their child's adjustment to school. Think about what you would do if you were in these situations.
Okay, now what word is next?
I don't know it, Daddy.
Amani, you almost got it. Just try again.
I don't know it.
Amani, just try. Now, we just said the same word a minute ago. The word is little. Let's just go on. Hey, how are you? Listen, can I call you back? I'm helping Amani with his reading. Okay. Yeah, bye. All right. Now, where were we?
I don't want to read it anymore. I don't like it.
Come on, Amani, you have to do this if you want to learn how to read. Don't you want to be smart and be a good student in school?
I don't want to go to school anymore.
Oh, really? Well, if you don't go to school, you're going to grow up to be stupid. You want to be stupid?
Russell tried to help his son Amani learn to read. Amani became frustrated and did not want to continue, and Russell became upset at his son. Consider these questions. Was Russell effective in encouraging his son's learning? What would you have done in this situation? Was Russell effective in encouraging his son's learning?
Definitely not. I think, if anything, he was discouraging him. He seemed to be pressuring him.
Okay. Here's another opinion.
If you try to force Amani to study, you could turn him off from school altogether. He didn't want to go to school. After all, he just started kindergarten.
Russell?
I want my son to be a good student. Now, his education is just beginning, and I want to set the message right away that education comes first.
Okay, hold on.
I agree with Russell. You don't want children growing up thinking it's not okay to learn.
Yeah, but I mean, of course you have to encourage your children to learn, but you don't want to make it a chore. I mean, learning for young children should be a pleasurable experience.
Eileen? Eileen, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, Amani is only 5, and most children don't know how to read when they enter kindergarten. Forcing your children when they're not ready can cause more harm than good, because you don't want your child to feel that learning is frustrating or boring. So pressuring your child to read before he's ready can actually make learning more difficult and may cause his self-esteem to suffer.
But Amani has got to learn whether he likes it or not. Now, how do I help him without discouraging him?
Well, you can help him with work that's appropriate to his level, and don't pressure him to perform beyond his capacity. And instead, what he needs is encouragement.
Okay. Over here.
When Amani told you he didn't want to read anymore, couldn't you have put his book away and tried again later, maybe?
Good idea.
That's a very good suggestion. Then Amani could choose a storybook for you to read together, or do another activity that would stimulate his thinking. And then later, you could go back to the workbook with renewed interest if he's willing.
That all sounds great, but a working parent only has so much time to spend on their child's homework. I don't have the time for all of this.
Which brings up a very good question, Eileen. How much time should a parent spend helping his child with his homework?
There's no right or wrong amount of time. If the homework is assigned by a teacher, then the time spent, it depends upon how long it takes to complete the task. If it's a parent-initiated activity, then the time spent depends upon the child's interest. The important issue here is what happens when the parent and child are together doing activities that encourage learning. And there are other activities that may be important to school success as well.
Can you give me some examples?
Sure. Taking your child to concerts, museums, plays, sporting events are all enriching and fun experiences. Watching educational television programs together, having stimulating dinner conversations, or reading books together all inspire a child's mind.
Okay, I get it. That makes sense. So what you're saying is that when you create an environment at home that is stimulating and nourishing, the child's natural enthusiasm for learning will most likely carry over into his learning at school.
Exactly.
I read to my son all the time. Even when he couldn't speak, I read to him every night.
That's a great idea.
Yes. Yes, that's very important. Reading stories and poetry to your child develops language skills, stimulates imagination, and it familiarizes your child with the world of literature. It's also a good idea for your child to see you reading for your own pleasure, because children learn best by example.
You've brought up some very good ideas to help stimulate your child's learning abilities. Do you have any more tips?
Oh, yes. Take advantage of daily learning situations. For instance, when you are out shopping with your child, point out colors, numbers, words, and letters, and ask questions that stimulate thinking and problem-solving skills.
I noticed Russell was studying with Armani in the living room, and when the phone rang, Armani lost interest. Do you think maybe they should be studying in another room?
Why? That's ridiculous. I mean, well, what difference does what room they're in matter, really?
It does matter.
Well, does it make a difference, Aileen?
Oh, I think it does. It's a good idea when a child has homework to establish a time and place for the child to study, and it should be a quiet place so the child can concentrate, and it could even be at the kitchen table after dinner.
Okay. So I see why it's important to find a quiet place for Armani to study, but why does he have to study in the same room every day?
It's preferable because Armani will develop a sense of regularity about doing his work if there's a specific place for him to do it. And children of this age are just beginning to learn the importance of homework. And although in kindergarten homework is minimal, establishing a routine helps children learn good study habits.
Yeah. And I forgot the TV is in the living room, and I guess that could be a distraction to Armani even if it's turned off, huh?
Oh, yes. It's best to leave the living room for play and recreation and use another room for studying.
But isn't that going a little bit overboard? I mean, we're not talking about teenagers here. A 5-year-old doesn't need that much structure.
I disagree. I believe you have to establish good learning skills in the beginning, right? Or they won't ever have them.
It's fine.
Does anybody else agree with that? Yeah?
I'd like to make a point that nobody has mentioned. Russell told Armani he would grow up to be stupid if he didn't learn to study. I don't think that kind of talk is helpful.
No. Russell.
I agree.
Hold on.
I agree. I think Armani felt really bad when Russell said that. You should have a little more patience.
I did not say, well, let me just put it this way. I didn't mean to hurt Armani's feelings when I said that, okay? I just feel that having an education is the most important tool that a person can have to have success in his life. I mean, I just can't stress that enough. And I want Armani to start his school experience right.
Yeah, but your enthusiasm might backfire. He might find it harder to learn if you call him stupid.
I did not say he was stupid.
You said he would grow up to be stupid if he doesn't learn.
Eileen, you want to step in here?
Ridicule is never beneficial to the learning process. You want to create an environment that is safe from criticism, so your child will have the freedom to make mistakes without worry.
Okay, all right. I see your point.
Let's review what we've just learned.
Which of the following choices would help Russell encourage Amani's interest in learning? A. Russell could put Amani's workbook aside and tell him they'll read it later. B. Russell could play a game or read a storybook with Amani to stimulate his thinking. C. Russell could move Amani to a quiet, distraction-free room and establish it as Amani's regular study room. D. Russell could calmly but firmly tell Amani that reading is important to his success in life and that he must finish the workbook. A, B, and C are appropriate choices for Russell. You may have additional good ideas as well. Letter D is not the best choice for Russell. When he pressures Amani to learn before he's ready, Amani could become frustrated, which makes the learning process more difficult. Let's summarize some of the key points we've discussed so far. Number 1. In the learning process, children progress at their own rate of development. When you pressure your children, learning can become a difficult and negative experience for them. Number 2, when your child is assigned homework, establish a regular place and time for him or her to study that is quiet and free of distractions. Number 3, teach children that learning is important and fun by demonstrating how you learn. Read in their presence. Number 4, read to your children and have stimulating conversations and take them to places of cultural interest. Number 5, always praise your child's effort and help him take pride in himself. Avoid ridicule because it damages self-esteem and is counterproductive to learning.
Russell, would you like another opportunity to help Amani learn?
Absolutely.
Let's watch and see what he does differently.
What word is next?
Look, I don't know it, Daddy.
You almost got it, Amani. Let's just try again.
I don't know it.
The word is little. Do you want to read any more?
No.
Okay, we'll just put this away for now. Maybe we'll try again later. Say, how would you like to read a storybook with me?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Now, this is one about a prince. Prince meets a princess. Now, what happened to the prince?
He turned into a frog.
That's right, Amani. Did you like the story?
Yeah, but I don't like when he had to kiss the princess. Go read another story.
How did that feel, Russell?
I felt much better. I was patient when Amani didn't want to read, and I found a way to interest him in books.
Good work, Russell. Now let's watch another scene between two parents and their child. Remember to ask yourself, what would I do in this situation?
Max, let's go. We have to leave a half hour earlier now, remember? You don't want to be late for your first day of kindergarten now, do you?
What's the matter, Max?
I don't want to go to school.
Are you kidding? School's great. You'll love it.
Will you come to my class, Daddy?
I have to go to work, Max. So does Mommy. But we'll drop you off outside the school.
I have a tummy ache. I don't want to go to school.
Come on, Max. You went to nursery school. You know what it's like to be away from Mommy and Daddy, right?
Don't be a baby, Max. You're gonna be a big girl about it now, okay?
Max was scared about her first day in school, and her parents tried to console her. Did Sharon and Stephen ease Max's anxieties about going to school? What would you have done in the same situation? Did Sharon and Stephen ease Max's anxieties about going to school?
Definitely not. I think Max was pretty anxious, and I think that Sharon and Stephen made her even more anxious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they did much to put their daughter at ease.
The first day of school is difficult for any child. I don't think Max's nervousness was unusual at all.
We were trying to assure her that she would have fun. I mean, what more can we do?
I think they could have prepared her a little better on what to expect for the first day of school.
But Max had already been to nursery school for 2 years.
Eileen,
Well, the first day of kindergarten is a big day for a child, even after nursery school. Kindergarten brings a new location, a new structure, and new people to meet and grow accustomed to, and perhaps a new bedtime and morning routine. That's a lot of change for a child, and it's a good idea to prepare her.
But we explained to Max she'd be going to a new school.
But that's not really enough. I mean, you have to let them know what to expect.
And what are some ways that you could do that?
Well, I mean, you could take them to the school a few days before the school year starts and kind of show them around, you know, like where they're going to be.
Good. Also, they could practice Max's new morning routine a few days before school starts.
Great.
They could tell Max about their nervousness when they started school and how they learned to love it.
Oh, those are all good ideas. Preparing the child for her new experience and her expectations helps minimize her anxieties.
Yeah, I think Sharon and Stephen should make sure they can help Max, you know, with this transition into a new life. They could at least walk her to class for the first few days of school.
Yeah.
I have to say I totally disagree with that, because separation from the parents is traumatic for the children, and I think walking them up to the school is just going to prolong that anxiety.
But they could make it a little easier for her, you know, this transition.
Eileen, you want to step in?
There are several things you can do to help your child's transition. If possible, arrange to take your child to school and pick her up yourself, at least for the first few days, because it will ease her anxieties and help her cope with her fears. If you can't do it yourself, try to find someone with whom the child is comfortable. And it is a good idea to walk her to the classroom because she'll find it comforting.
I made sure to meet my son's teacher on the first day of school. I think it was really reassuring for him.
Yeah. Eileen?
Yes, that is a very good idea. Not only does it reassure your child, but it lets the teacher know you are interested in your child's education and you want to be involved. But it's also a good idea to try to meet the teacher before the school year begins, if at all possible.
I had a problem with the way Stephen and Sharon dealt with Max's anxiety.
How did they deal with it?
They just brushed it aside and told her not to worry about it.
We tried to tell her that there was nothing to fear.
But that wasn't true. I mean, Max had a very real reason to feel anxious, and I think you guys should have acknowledged that anxiety.
I think that's true. It's important to acknowledge and respect your child's feelings of anxiety, fear, sadness, and worry. It would be comforting to her if you did so.
This may sound kind of corny, but I had a really hard time when my daughter first went to kindergarten. I felt like I was sending my baby off into this world, and that I also felt like I was going to lose a big part of our relationship.
Has anyone else felt that way? Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you not only have to acknowledge your child's feelings, but your own as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like when Stephen told Max not to cry like a baby. I don't think that kind of ridicule is helpful.
I was trying to get Max to control her feelings, but I guess that wasn't the best way.
I think you're right, Stephen. They can't act like babies forever. Kindergarten's just another passage into another stage of life. So you should just let them cry until they get over it.
Oh, no, that's so mean.
Just because a child cries doesn't mean she's acting like a baby.
Right.
That seems like an unnecessarily harsh way to deal with separation. Once your child knows school is a safe and friendly place, she'll be fine. But until then, give her all the support she needs.
Yeah, because when he first went to kindergarten, I remember him telling me he didn't like school, and I couldn't figure out why. And then later on, I learned that he'd been having a little problem with bully.
Well, Often a child's anxiety about going to school may not be school itself, but it could be a problem with peers, or sometimes it's a family problem or a case of low self-esteem in a child. But whatever the problem, reassure your child and give your child emotional support. If it is a problem with friends, speak to the teacher to find out what's going on and then help your child resolve the problem.
Great discussion. Good. Now, let's review what we've just talked about.
Which of the following choices would help Stephen and Sharon alleviate Max's anxieties about kindergarten? A. Stephen and Sharon could explain to Max in detail about her new environment and rehearse her new morning routine before the semester starts. B. Stephen and Sharon could take Max to the school before the school year begins and try to meet her teacher if possible. C. On the first day of school, Stephen and Sharon could drop Max off in front of the school and let her find her own way in. D. Stephen and Sharon could try to take and pick up Max themselves for the first few days. A, B, and D are appropriate choices for Stephen and Sharon. You may have additional good ideas as well. Letter C is not the best choice. Max should be eased into her transition. Taking Max to school and meeting the teacher is a better idea. Let's summarize some of the key points we've discussed so far. Number 1, plan ahead with your children so they're prepared for their new daily routine and they know what to expect from their kindergarten experience. Number 2, ease the transition to kindergarten by arranging to take and pick up your children for the first few days, if possible. Number 3, acknowledge and sympathize with your children about the anxiety of beginning kindergarten. Be aware of your own feelings of anxiety and loss about this separation. Number 4, scolding your children for their fear or anxiety will only make them more insecure about their kindergarten experience. Give your child extra support until he or she feels at ease with the new school environment.
Stephen and Sharon, would you like to have another opportunity to help prepare Max for her first day of kindergarten?
Definitely.
Count me in.
Let's see what Stephen and Sharon can do.
Tomorrow's your big day, Max. How do you feel?
A little scared.
It's okay. It's natural to feel a little nervous. But you know what? I think that when you get used to it, you're gonna love school.
Remember when we showed you where your classroom was? Well, Mommy and Daddy are gonna take you there tomorrow to meet your new teacher, Mr. Powers. He's a very nice man.
Okay.
And remember, we have to wake up a little earlier than we did for nursery school.
I remember.
Okay. Max, are you ready to go?
Are you okay, Max?
I'm a little scared and my tummy hurts.
I know. But Daddy and I are gonna take you to class, and we're gonna pick you up as soon as school is over. Does that sound good?
Okay.
That's my girl.
How did that feel?
Great. Planning ahead made all the difference, and Max felt a lot better.
Even though she was a little nervous, I think we were able to reassure her.
Well, we're all here to learn. Any final thoughts, Eileen?
Yes. Kindergarten is the beginning of your child's formal education. The more you do to be prepared for that experience, the more likely he or she will feel successful. Now let's summarize some of the key points of our discussion. Number 1, enrich your children. Avoid pressuring a child beyond his or her ability. Number 2, establish a regular time and place to learn. Number 3, set a good example. Number 4, create a learning environment at home. Number 5, praise effort. Number 6, Ease the transition to kindergarten by preparing the child for the experience. Number 7, acknowledge worries and fears. Number 8, avoid scolding. Respect your child's feelings. These 8 points can help you prepare your child for kindergarten. Keep them in mind as you help his or her transition to a new school experience. An excellent way to implement your new skills in preparing your child for kindergarten is to keep a daily journal. Write down the methods you use to help your child become ready to learn and to adjust to the new educational experience.
Thanks, Eileen. We hope that watching this program has helped you in your relationship with your own children. We thank you for watching our series, The Now and Future Parent. And remember, children are our future. Goodbye.